probably felt the same way. Well, not exactly. He just lost his job. But that was through mutual agreement. You see, he asked for a raise and they did it for him, so that's why he was a bit lax. And was a bit late in our work. So, yeah, they're retired. And it's been 3 times they've been talking already. Can we help them? Straight yes. Sign, table lock down the hall. Oh.
So I told him, this was a reporter of yours, you understand, a network reporter. I told him, when Brezhnev was in power, he always began Politburo meetings by saying, the survival of the Soviet Union depends upon the total annihilation of America.
You told him that?
How was I to know he'd believe it? He actually filed that report with his network. It was nearly broadcast. But finally, someone had sense enough to ask him, who told you that? Andrei Botvinnik? They canceled it. They know I make jokes. That reporter now, I think, is covering restaurants. Do you like this place? Shall we sit?
Do you think we should?
Why not?
Well, we spoke of this as a walk in the woods.
We are walking, we are sitting, we are walking again.
But the reporters...
Reporters expect us when they see us. They love for us not to be on time. Much speculation. More column inches. Come, come, come. Sit down. Sit down.
All right.
Fine, fine, fine. Now we are sitting. Oh, this is good. The trees are so lovely late summer here. So full. You came at a good time.
It's beautiful.
Have you ever been to Switzerland before?
No.
Ah. Well, you must enjoy the lakes, the mountain trails, and so on and so forth.
I will, thank you.
Ah. Mr. McIntyre loved the trails. He enjoyed hiking very much.
Yes, I know.
He told you?
Yes.
Ah. How is he doing, Mr. McIntyre?
Very well. He's with a law firm now in New York.
Really? He's not with the Arms Control Agency?
No, he thought he'd try the private sector again.
Ah, the private sector. Wonderful thing you Americans have, to think. A refuge from government service. Ah, Mr. McIntyre, they come and they go.
Does that bother you?
Not when someone as pleasant as you is sent to replace him.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
We're beginning to sound like a pair of diplomats.
We are a pair of diplomats.
Well, negotiators.
And negotiators, of course.
I mean, after all, that is our primary function.
Yes.
Diplomacy comes second, in a sense. It's really someone else's job.
If you insist.
I don't insist. I'm just trying to be clear, that's all.
You are clear.
Tell me, why have we taken a walk in the woods?
What do you mean?
I mean, why? Does your government have something it wishes to communicate about our proposal?
No, nothing like that. There are many ways to discuss a proposal. We don't have to come way out here.
It's a very good proposal.
Oh, I know it is.
Very good.
Absolutely. On my side, we are all in disarray, believe me. But that's not why we're here. Today, I only wanted to see the woods.
To see the woods?
Yes, and to talk, simply, man to man. Mishina is mishinoi, da?
Man to man.
Yes. The woods are very useful. We will be trading proposals across the table for months. Here there is no table. Here we can relax, ignore things, talk about trees, lakes, whatever.
I see. The reporters will be disappointed.
Why?
They think we're out here getting all the real work done. So you're not interested in doing any work out here, hmm?
What do you call work? Only what we do at the table? This is valuable too.
What, sunning ourselves on a bench?
Tell me, do you plan to be a very formal negotiator?
Should I be?
Oh, no, please, anything but formal. That was the one thing I didn't like about McIntyre. For 2 years we sat across the table from each other, and he never changed his position.
The American position
No. His position, sitting there at the table, he always sat up straight. For 2 years he never relaxed. I couldn't understand. He felt it gave him a moral advantage. It didn't. It made him look like a dog waiting for his supper.
I'll tell him that.
Would you? That's the one thing I think he should change. Formality allows many things, but it does not allow friendship.
I think formality.
Formality is simply anger with its hair comb. I could never make a friend out of McIntyre. It was a great disappointment. For 2 years he sat there, a meter away, several hundreds of discussions, and we never became friends. After all, what does that say about me?
Is it good, do you think, for arms negotiators to be friends?
Well, someone has to.
But is that, strictly speaking, our job?
Perhaps you're right. You like the trees here. They are very neutral.
I only meant perhaps two disinterested and more formal parties could do a better job negotiating.
Tell me, what do you think of the nose on the face of the Reuters correspondent?
The Reuters, why
Yes,
do you...
quick, what do you think?
It's very large.
Large. It's enormous. I can't look at anything else in press conferences. You wait. You stare like I do.
Mr. Budvin.
No. Andre, please.
Andre.
Andreush, if you like. Perhaps I could call you Johnny.
John.
John, yes.
Andre, I appreciate your desire to want to become friends. Indeed, in many of my former negotiations, I did become friends with those on the other side, after a successful settlement, not before.
I see.
I think it's important for us both to realize that there are issues here,
Of course.
which must be resolved.
Certainly.
Making friends is a fine thing, but not on someone else's time, so to speak. Do you follow me?
Oh, yes.
When I took this post, it was to bring something new here. A new formula, a breakthrough.
Yes, a breakthrough.
A plan I personally helped develop for over a year.
Wonderful. Welcome, a new man with a new plan.
I didn't have to take this job, you know. I could have stayed safe behind my desk in Washington. Someone more like McIntyre could have been chosen. But since I have a first-hand knowledge of this proposal, and since I myself have a strong record as a negotiator...
At a lower level.
At a lower level, I was asked to work this one through. I have a lot to offer, Mr. Ray. I wasn't just sent here to enunciate policy. I know these issues. I'm here to get something done. I hope you want to help me.
Whatever I can contribute in the spirit of things.
No, I don't want the spirit of an agreement. I want an agreement. An honest one, fair to both sides.
Well, I see. Whatever I can do, of course, as friends, we will certainly...
No, listen.
I see, yes.
What I'm saying about friendship is that it takes us away from the central point.
Yes, which is?
Commitment. Mutual commitment to the hard work of negotiating a treaty. But we need to find our rewards there, in difficult problems, worked on together and solved together. That's the sort of personal relationship I'm seeking here. That's what I would like. Andre, how do you feel about what I've been saying?
Well...
I'd really like to know.
Would you?
Very much.
Very well. I feel...
Yes? Oh,
You have a string on your suit.
string. A thread, you mean?
Oh, a thread, yes. Yes. Now you look fine. What shall we talk about?
You're changing the subject.
I am?
Yes.
Really? I'm sorry. What was it, please?
I was told you like changing the subject.
Not at all. That's a very fine suit, by the way.
Mr. McIntyre said it was your favorite ploy.
I never use ploys. Is it Italian?
English.
Everything I have is Italian.
Are we done talking about this now?
About what?
About suits.
If you like.
Yes, I do like. Thank you. So will you answer my question?
What question?
My question about whether or not you agree that we shouldn't be friends.
Was that the subject before that I changed?
Yes, it was.
Well, of course, the answer is I agree with you.
You agree with me?
Yes.
That we shouldn't be friends?
Yes.
That's not what you said before.
But then I didn't know your views. Now I do, and I agree with you.
You agree with me?
Yes.
You're contradicting yourself.
Well, of course, because we are friends.
We can't be friends. That's
But we are becoming friends.
No, you're still contradicting
Yes,
yourself.
and I agree.
You can't agree.
But I do.
You're still contradicting yourself.
I know, but I will go to any length to keep a friendship. You'll pardon me. Pardon me for a moment.
Is something wrong with your eyes?
No, I have dry eyes. They become very uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
Have you seen a doctor?
Oh, yes, several of them. Swiss doctors. It's nothing.
What do they say?
You want this for your files?
No, I was only asking.
Well, very well, I will tell you. They tell me I have Sjogren's syndrome.
Sjogren's syndrome. What does that mean?
It means I have dry eyes.
That's all?
Dry eyes, dry nose, dry mouth, whatever should be wet is dry.
What can they do for it?
Nothing. They told me to eat wet food. And they gave me artificial tears. Live with it, they said. Clit it.
Where?
Yeah, all clit. The Swiss artist. He too apparently had this problem. They took great pride in telling me. Imagine having national pride in a disease, huh? I'm sorry for the delay, but this was not a ploy, however, only a sickness. What were we discussing?
Perhaps we should be getting back now if you're not feeling
No,
well.
I'm fine.
Still, it's probably time.
No, we just got here. Don't you like it here?
I like it fine. It's just that I prefer...
A table, yes.
No, not a table. What's said over it. I need some seriousness, Andre. I think we owe our governments that much, don't you?
Do you like me?
Andre.
Answer my question.
I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going back.
Without me? What will the reporter say to that? After all, we leave together and return separately? Significant rumors. Tell me, aren't you embarrassed to be an American?
Oh.
I am. To be Russian, I mean.
Why?
Look at this. Americans and Russians, the world's great cowards, the world's great fools. Year after year we sit here among the mountaintops. We talk about our weapons, so many of them. Weapons on land, in the sea, in the air, and in space. Let's get rid of some, we say, before there's an accident. We talk so serious. We calculate. We make proposals. And we nearly always fail. It's embarrassing. The best we can do is get rid of a few missiles once in a while, for sure. Nothing more. Nothing beyond that. If the world were not so terrified of us, it would laugh.
That may be.
Why are we failing? I ask myself this. Year after year we are here and we keep failing.
I think the reason...
I know the reason. I finally discovered who is to blame. Would you like to know?
Andre.
It's not America, it's not the Soviet Union. Ask me who is to blame.
Andre.
Ask me.
Who, Andre? Who is to blame?
Switzerland.
I'm going.
No. Listen, then you can go.
You're being ridiculous.
Not that you listen. Switzerland has two things only. Mountains and peace. Thousands of mountains, centuries of peace. Peaceful trees, peaceful lakes, peaceful people. You can't invade it, too many mountains. Besides, there's nothing here. Only trees and Swiss people. So what does mankind use Switzerland for? Peace conferences.
Entree.
And what happens? We sit across the table and we look very, very grim and very serious. And we talk and debate and argue about imminent world destruction. And then we leave the table and go outside, and what do we see? Rich, happy, peaceful people. Unharmed buildings, no barricades, no rifles, not even any littering. We breathe air that hasn't known a war in centuries. Suddenly, everything looks better. Why agree to a treaty now? We'll wait. I tell you, my friend, the real problem is Switzerland itself.
Do you always joke about these matters?
Who's joking? We should put the table at the bottom of a missile silo. Then we would negotiate. I have seriously suggested this to my superiors.
And what did they say?
They said to stop joking.
May I ask you a personal question?
Of course.
Why, in heaven's name, haven't you been replaced?
Mr. McIntyre also asked me this question.
What's the answer?
Yeah. You've done your research, I presume. Perhaps you should tell me.
You're a very good negotiator. That's why they keep you. You can say no longer than other people. You can say it with a frown. You can say it with a smile. You can say no and still be so charming, we'll think you said yes. You dress well, you speak English well, you're good with the media. Most of all, you know how to take orders, at least when it really counts. And those orders are nearly always the same. Say no and look good doing it. They keep you here because you give them something special, not just a man who says no, but a personality.
Is that how I am seen? Oh, how very flattering.
I've done other research. You want to hear?
Certainly. I love to hear about me.
In your private conversations, you are less dependable. It's believed your leaders worry quite a bit over your congeniality towards Westerners. You have a penchant for changing the subject. You contradict yourself. You deliberately misunderstand things. Your behavior is sometimes seen as childish.
Childish?
Mr. McIntyre wasn't sure if you were in complete control of these conversational gambits. He wondered if they weren't perhaps a genuine liability, which would grow worse with time and destroy your effectiveness. But do you know what I think? You know what my personal opinion is?
Yes, what?
That you are in full control of what you're doing, both formally and informally. That the very word effectiveness in your mind means obstruction. That you and perhaps your leaders are fundamentally dedicated to not finding a significant agreement.
You are very blunt, but this is so refreshing. Please go on, you're doing so well.
I'm not the only one in my country with this opinion. The fact is, I was appointed to this position precisely because it was thought only someone of my special talents could work with you at all.
Special talent, yes. I must admit we were very impressed when you were chosen. A man with no experience in Geneva.
I had experience elsewhere.
At a lower level.
And was effective.
A man who speaks only English?
I speak technical Russian.
No one speaks technical Russian. It's like saying, I speak algebra. No man has...
You're ignoring one positive.
There is a positive.
I'm an extremely effective negotiator. Now, that doesn't mean I say no well. It means I say yes well, at the right time, when the right work has been done. When I negotiate, I find an agreement.
So you think we will agree, eh? Eventually?
Yes, we will.
Perhaps you're right. But let me ask you something. Even if we do agree, do you think it will matter? How do you like the mountain air? I don't. I come from Leningrad. Sea air, that's air you can feel. It has weight. This air is too thin, too sterile.
Too healthy, you mean?
It's only oxygen. It's not enough. You know, I have breathed the air in many places.
Andre, I don't care about the air you have breathed. I care about creating an agreement. Nothing else. And yes, I do think it's going to matter. In fact, I think you'll be surprised how much it does matter. Now, I'm going back. Not because I feel defeated or hopeless, but because I feel we have done as much as we can do today, and tomorrow, over a table, we'll do more. And I'm going whether you come along or not.
I would love to go back. I'm so glad you suggested it.
Do we understand each other?
What do you mean?
Do we understand each other? I want to feel this conversation has served a purpose.
Really? Why?
Because all conversation should.
They should?
Yes, they should. Do we understand each other?
Of course we do. We are friends.
No, we are not friends.
We are becoming friends.
We are not becoming friends.
Yes, we are.
Andre, we've just... Do you know what they call you in the American delegation? The crab. Oh, not because you're mean or irritable, because you never go anywhere in a straight line.
Are those Italian shoes?
Don't talk about my shoes.
They are Italian.
They're French.
French shoes? Who would buy French shoes? I can get you...
I'm happy with the shoes I have. Thank you.
You know, you have great personal charm. You are much warmer than McIntyre.
I am much more persistent than McIntyre. I'm here to make a treaty with you, not a friendship. You can behave as erratically as you like. My offer stands. Work with me, please.
Tell me, Ted, where do you get your ties?
I'm going.
This is wonderful. We are doing so well together. When shall we take another walk?
Never.
Never? Are you sure, my friend?
Yes, I'm sure.
Very well. Whatever you say. After all, we are here to agree.
And believe me, the State Department is not going to be patient with this. We made this proposal months ago. Since then, you've done nothing but argue over details.
We are making a careful examination.
You're stalling. You're using a tiny point to hold up a major agreement.
Tiny to you.
Tiny to anyone. You want to know what the president thinks? He's called me twice this week. He flew me home last week. What's wrong with Botvinnik, he asks. Has he said no so many times he's forgotten how to say yes? Well, have you?
You have a very amusing president. I hope he does well in the election.
Whether he wins or loses the election will have no effect on this proposal.
Perhaps. Come, sit down, relax.
You're deliberately holding off, aren't you?
Well,
The longer you wait, hoping for some slight advantage from our elections, the colder this proposal gets.
Then don't have so many elections. Look how bright the leaves are. You know, I was so pleased when you asked me to take this walk. You said we would never do it again, but here we are.
You're not going to exploit our political process.
Your political process exploits itself. So does ours. Now, how does your side act when our leaders are old and sick? Do they rush into negotiations? No, they wait. They should wait.
So when do we negotiate agreements? When there isn't a president up for election? When there isn't a Soviet leader in bad health? How often is that?
Now and then.
Now and then. You want to discuss the life or death of this planet now and then.
You think we should do it more often?
Andre, this is our best proposal to date. The president has dedicated himself to the image of a peacemaker. He wants to do some lasting work. You should take advantage of that.
I'm as sorry for the delay as you, but you must understand, my leaders are naturally fearful. The experience of the last war was that...
That was 40 years ago.
but still...
But nothing. It's a dead issue. Your leaders have made a state religion out of what's essentially smugness. No one suffered the way we suffered. 20 million died.
20 million did die.
80 million died. All over the world. The Soviet government has no more right than anyone else to preach absolutes because of it.
Oh, this is marvelous. I was so pleased when you asked me to take this walk, but to find such emotion, this is wonderful. Thank you.
Don't digress.
I'm sorry.
My point is, any past horror, any breakdown of civilization can be used for decades thereafter by an unscrupulous government to frighten a population into impotence and obedience.
And that is what we have done?
Yes, it is. Aren't you going to disagree?
Maybe later. Go on, please.
So, anyway, I feel the excuse that your leaders are overcautious because of the experience of World War II is a cynical, self-serving, and manipulative lie. An outdated lie at that. And I wish you wouldn't do it anymore.
Very well. In our private conversations, I will not speak of it again.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
You know, I don't think your
Now,
government
what kind of
appreciates...
leaves are those?
Andre.
What kind, please?
That's a linden.
Ah, very nice. Linden. Botany, that's your hobby. I remember from the reports on you. Very nice. Do they have these in Wisconsin?
Yes, we call it basswood.
Ah, basswood. Like the fish, eh?
I don't know. Andre, I was a little bit...
It is my great regret that I have never visited your country.
Thank you. As I was saying...
Your home city. What is it? Warsaw?
Warsaw.
Warsaw.
Warsaw. Andre, if I was...
Warsaw.
Andre.
I think I have it now. Warsaw.
Warsaw. It's Warsaw. You can say it. You can speak English perfectly.
I'm only trying...
You're only trying to irritate me. I can see that. But why? Do you think it gives you the upper hand? It doesn't. If these talks fail, we both look bad. You realize that, don't you?
I have failed before.
I haven't. So what about this tiny point? When can we expect movement from your side?
After your election.
That's 5 weeks from now.
We can only move so fast. We have hawks and doves, just like you. Sometimes the hawks eat a few doves.
This is ludicrous. The president will never accept this.
He'll have no choice.
What if we force the issue?
He could lose the whole proposal.
Of course, you have to say that.
He'll lose the proposal. It's a frustrating business, yes?
Quiet, please.
You're upset. Perhaps I should leave you alone and I will go back and...
Andre,
Yeah?
if we go back so soon, the reporters will think we're in trouble on this.
Well, we are in trouble on this.
There's no reason for them to think so.
I thought you believed in the freedom of the press.
Don't be cute. Come back and sit down.
What shall we talk about?
We don't have to talk about anything. We just need to wait here a decent amount of time.
How are we doing?
You could use your influence, you know. They listen to you about these things.
Not always.
Sometimes, so why not talk to them?
It could be risky. It could put me out of fashion with the leadership.
Out of fashion.
It is not an insignificant risk.
Could anything induce you to take that risk?
Is this a bribe?
No.
Oh, too bad. I never accept bribes, but I love to know it's being offered.
I mean, is there anything we can do to convince you to help? That's all that I mean.
What can Americans do? To make me take chances with my career?
Yes.
Absolutely nothing. Now, ask me what you can do.
You just said we
No,
can't...
no. You John Honeyman. What can you do to get me to help? Ask me that.
What is there I can do?
You really want to know?
Yes, I want to know.
Are you completely sure?
Tell me, what can I do?
Be frivolous with me.
Frivolous?
Yes, frivolous.
What does frivolous mean?
It's your language.
I know.
Don't you know the word?
Of course I know the word. It's just that
A word has many meanings.
Exactly.
What do you think I mean by frivolous? Do you think I mean playful, impractical, irrelevant, unimportant, superficial, with unbecoming levity? No, I simply mean by frivolous, not serious.
Not serious. That's all, just not serious.
That's all.
You want to have a frivolous conversation. And for that, you'd be willing to try and influence your superiors. If I gave you that, why?
Because nothing else is interesting to me. Whenever I speak with Americans, they always ask, what about war? What about Afghanistan? What about cruise missiles? It is no longer interesting to me.
But what about cruise missiles?
I hear certain words, whether I speak them or someone else speaks them, words like détente, human rights, Star Wars, Central America, readiness, early warning, and I feel like I am falling from the face of the earth. I see the entire earth, the entire planet like I'm a cosmonaut, and it is falling away from me. We are both receding into the dark. I have entire conversations in this kind of darkness when I hear words like summit, test ban, immigration, cruise missiles. It's almost as though they are printed on the dark walls all around me. And by then, the earth is like a fingertip. It is so far away. Does this ever happen to you?
No.
Perhaps it will someday. In any case, you must forgive me. This was not happen at the table. There, I listened very carefully. There, I pretend we are discussing a planet different from Earth, and it helps very much.
Andre.
Receptions, dinner parties. That's when it happens. I hear the serious words like lasers, megadeths, acceptable losses. You know what I'm dying to hear an American talk about? Mickey Mouse. Cowboys. How to make a banjo.
I don't think
Minnie Mouse. Anything that is not serious.
I can't talk about Minnie Mouse with you.
That is my price for helping you, for doing what I can.
You want to be frivolous.
Very much.
I'm disappointed by this. I thought you were more professional.
This is professional. This is the way to survive as a profession.
Fine. Let's survive then. Frivolously. What shall we talk about?
Whatever you like.
Oh, no, you decide. It's your idea.
Very well. Let me see. Do you like country and western music?
Honestly?
Of course, honestly. We are being frivolous.
Yes, I do like it.
Wonderful. So do I. It's very anti-Soviet, but nothing is perfect. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
Yes.
Wonderful song. Very sad. It could have been Russian.
Maybe.
Tell me, have you ever slept with a redhead?
No.
Me neither. It is my great regret. Now, you say something.
Me?
Yes.
What should I say?
Anything, whatever's in your mind.
Right. Well, you know, sometimes I notice when we're discussing space weapons
No.
Oh, no, I only meant when we're discussing space weapons.
No, you are too serious.
Even to mention it on the way to something else?
Too serious.
Sorry.
No problem. Try again. Be trivial.
Well, let me see. I hate brown suits.
And?
And what?
I hate brown suits and?
And nothing. I hate brown suits, that's all. What's the matter? Isn't it trivial enough?
There's a difference between trivial and boring.
That's not boring.
Of course it is. I hate brown suits.
It's no more boring than you liking Willie Nelson.
It is.
It is not.
You're not good at it, admit it.
I can be as trivial as the next person. You never said I had to be trivial and entertaining at the same time.
That goes without saying.
It does not.
Now you're just arguing with me.
I'm not arguing.
Yes, you are.
Kindly stop telling me what I am and am not doing.
That was very good. Tell me another trivial thing.
I can't.
Of course you can. You must if we are to have any fun.
I am not having any fun.
Be patient. If you are here long enough, the only thing you can enjoy, will be able to enjoy, is a totally meaningless conversation.
Have you failed that much here? I'm sorry, I can't be trivial anymore.
What can I do? He refuses to humor me. Such a small price and he refuses to pay it. I'm beginning to miss Mr. McIntyre.
All I know is, considering who we are and what we have been sent here to do, it is literally wasting the world's time for us to be anything but deadly serious with each other.
Wasting the world's time? I like that.
Don't grade my phrase-making. Talk to me.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Too boring.
You know, it's a shame those tears of yours can't be real.
What if I talk serious to you and you don't enjoy it?
If it's serious, I'll enjoy it.
You will, eh?
Yes.
Very well then. I will now present to you my serious thoughts on the subject of, let me see, the character of the Russian and the American people.
I don't think that's...
That is my topic. It is fundamental. Do you object?
Not as long as you're serious.
Deadly. Good, good. There's a great difference between Russians and Americans. Yes or no?
Well, yes, it
There is no difference. I will prove it. If the Russians and not the English had come to America, what would they have done?
Well, they would have...
They would have killed all the Indians and taken all the land. You see? There's no difference. Russians and Americans are the same. But their history is different. What is history? History is geography over time. The geography of America is ocean, therefore no nearby enemy. The geography of Russia is just the opposite. Broad, flat plains, open invitations to anyone who wants to attack. Mongols, French, Germans, Poles, Turks, Swedes, anyone. You agree with this? Of course you do. It is obviously true.
Andre.
Be quiet. I'm being serious. What is the history of America then? Conquest without competition. What is the history of Russia? Conquest because of competition. How best to be America? Make individual freedom your God. This allows you to attack on many fronts, all along your borders, in fact. And you claim that there are no attacks at all. In fact, you don't even have to call your wars wars. You call them the settling of the West.
That's a gross
How best to be Russia then? Make control your God. Know that you're going to crush all those around you. Channel the wills of all the people around you into one will. Only this will be effective. Only this will defeat your neighbors.
I'm going back.
You can't. This is what you wanted.
I wanted a conversation.
And what is the result of all this history and geography? Why are Americans and Russians, people who have done the same things, create and maintain empires, why are they now enemies to the death?
We are not enemies. We're rivals.
We are enemies. Because Americans who have never had to confront themselves as conquerors are under the delusion that they are idealists. And Russians who did have to confront themselves are under the equally powerful delusion that they are realists. I'm talking about those in power. Common Russians and common Americans share a much simpler delusion, that they are peace-loving people.
This is profoundly cynical.
Thank you. I like to be clear-eyed. You cannot work on this job as long as I have without knowing that no one wants you to succeed, not even the man on the street.
How on earth can you think that?
Ask the man on the street. Ask him. Do you want to get rid of all your nuclear weapons right now? And he will say yes. Then ask him, are you willing to forego your power, prestige, predominance in the world? And he will say no. These questions are the same. Without nuclear weapons, our empires would no longer be empires. They would merely be countries amongst other countries.
Powerful countries.
But not superpowers. We are too used to dominating, John. We will never give that up.
There are other ways to be superpowers.
Without nuclear weapons, we will be nothing more than a rich, powerful Canada and an enormous Poland. And there's another more important reason as well.
Which is?
The most exciting thing in the world today is to know that we can destroy the world like that in a day. To know our bombs and soldiers are in place. Hands on the controls, computers constantly running, monitoring, ready. We have never known such excitement. Alexander, Napoleon, Hitler would give up all their conquests just to live in a world where such destruction is possible. Man has worked a long time for this. He is an animal who must fulfill every potential, even the potential to kill himself, even the potential to kill everyone else.
It's simple-minded to say that just because man can kill himself, that's what he's going to do.
It is? How much time, money, and energy does your government, do our governments, put into making ready for war? How much do we put into making ready for peace? You and me, that's all.
Governments have always armed themselves to the teeth, but mankind truly does hate war.
If mankind truly hated war, there would be millions of us and only 2 soldiers. Is this serious enough conversation for you? Do you want to go on?
Not really. Wait.
Yeah?
What will you do about helping us?
Nothing, of course.
Why not? I met your condition. I talked about trivial things.
Brown soup. It was pitiful.
I'll try again.
You're not good at it. You have no need for it.
I'll develop the need.
Over time, yes. But right now, you're just uncomfortable with it.
Help us anyway.
Why should I?
For the sake of peace.
What kind of peace? Peace where you dominate? Peace where we dominate?
Peace where we share. You say man has to fulfill every potential, that he's that kind of animal. But he has other potentials, not just destructiveness. Andre, man has the potential to become a whole new animal. One that trusts instead of fears. One that agrees when it makes sense to agree. That finds the way to live because life has become for him, has finally become a sacred thing.
Only a child could believe this.
I believe it.
Good, then you will always be young.
Andre, do you think it's a virtue to have been here as long as you have? You think cynicism is some sort of a glorious end product of your work here? You know, it's just possible I'm the one who sees clearly here, not you. Precisely because I haven't been here, slowly going blind from my failures. Andre, we have no choice. If we don't believe in our ability to save ourselves, then everything dies. Everything. All through history, man has been able to love destruction and be excited by violence. Because no matter what stupid, gaping terror he created, it was always survivable. But no more. If we fail now, history itself will disappear. Time will stop. There won't be any right way to think or feel, because there won't be anyone here to have thoughts or feelings. There will be no here. Idealism is no longer a choice for mankind. It's a necessity. We have to find whatever crumbs of pure goodwill exist in us. We have to feed whatever tiny inclination we have towards each other. We have to start with the bare fact that there are two of us here, at least. That underneath whatever motivation brings us here, hate, fear, gain, whatever, there is something that will ultimately save us.
What?
Recognition. We look across that table and we see ourselves. Andre, help me.
You know what they think of initiative in my country.
Even now with the new openness.
Please.
Your leaders respect your opinion.
Because I keep it to myself.
Help me.
No.
You owe it to yourself to push your leaders for an agreement.
Ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. I push my leaders all the time. I've been arguing with the administration for weeks. The president is already sorry he appointed me.
So am I.
The president is considering making our proposal public.
He wouldn't.
I've told him not to.
That would end the proposal.
I know.
We would have no choice but to reject it.
I know. But that's how strongly he feels. Plus, he's worried about the election. He feels it might enhance his position if he announced our peace efforts.
And what is this from you? A threat?
No, it's not a threat. It's a
promise.
He needs a gesture from you. Movement on something. Anything, big, small, it doesn't matter. Something that will give him faith.
He needs us to give him faith? Oh, really?
I thought you wanted to be my friend.
I am your friend.
No, you're not. Not unless you do this for me. I swear, Andre, if you don't push for this right now, you and I will never be friends. I'll be stiffer and stuffier than anyone you've ever worked with. I will out McIntyre.
That is not fair.
It's my price for friendship. Will you pay it?
Very well. I will suggest that we not wait until the election, that we treat your proposal more seriously.
Thank you.
But I will only suggest it once, lightly.
Thank you very much.
Don't mention it.
You know, I think we're beginning to get along.
You do you?
Yes. After all, here we are agreeing on something.
And you think you did it all by yourself, eh?
No, not by myself.
John Honeyman, the great convincer, send him to Switzerland and peace will follow.
I didn't mean that.
Yes, you did. But think what you like. I'm helping you for only one reason. It might be entertaining.
Entertaining.
But I doubt it.
Should I go with you?
No. Since we are agreeing on this, we should go back separately. It will confuse the reporter.
Thank you!
Don't shout thank you in the woods.
I'm sorry!
Don't shout I'm sorry.
Then I won't.